Alrighty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Friday, November 28th. Hope everybody had themselves a great Thanksgiving. Being that it's around the holidays, we had to do some funky recording business. So right now it's just me on here, but we do actually have two fans coming on this episode. It's incredibly entertaining. The Cowboys conversation, especially with Iman being the ex-Cowboys fan, certainly got a bit rowdy, lots of laugh. Texans conversation was awesome. Not many people are talking Texans football too often, so glad we got to do it. And again, because it was kind of a funky recording week with the holidays, we don't have any news desk, but the two conversations will hopefully suffice, and they do fill up our normal time slot. So hope you all enjoy. Like I said, super entertaining, really enlightening to hear from the Texans fan base a little bit more with the season that they're having, the defense that they got going. And then, of course, the Cowboys just cracking into them, and all the stuff around the Cowboys always fun. But let's get to the very first interview. Alrighty, folks, welcome to our first fan interview rant session of the week. We got Garrett on. Garrett runs the Houston Stressins account on, Twitter. Is it everywhere else, or where is it mostly Twitter you're doing your stuff?
Everything. Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. Got a website as well, so I'm everywhere, man.
Yep. Well, if you're just listening, you're not watching. I was telling Garrett this earlier. The logo's awesome. The name's awesome. It works. They're winning. They got winning ways. I mean, it's not as bad as Texans football is normally accustomed to. What is, Garrett? I mean, first, how are we doing? And let's dive right into it. Like, what is the pulse of this Texans fan base right now?
It's been a crazy season. I mean, obviously, your first year at D'Amico Ryans, you're surprised by him and Stroud, and then all of a sudden now, you win a playoff game, come off Rookie of the Year. Expectations are sky high. I mean, Houston's a football city. Like, obviously, the Oilers left, but we've been wanting a football team and wanting a good football team for a while. So people were pumped up for 2024, and we know how that went. I mean, it was lower than expectations, but it was still relatively a decent season if you look at it. And so then obviously this year we fired Bobby Slowick. And so people are really hoping for, an even better year, and it's a slow start, and all people within a fan base are different. I'm usually much more optimistic than most. We were 0-3 and then 3-5. I was obviously stressing, but I mean, I never wrote the season off, but we had fans saying, trade Danielle Hunter, trade this guy, trade that guy, tank for a draft pick. And I'm just sitting there like, we lost all 5 of our games were one-score games that we lost in the final minutes, all against playoff teams. And it's just, the offense is just trying to find its way in this new offense, new personnel, new scheme, et cetera. So, but like the one thing for me that I've been preaching is like, we have an elite defense, and we've had an elite defense even last year. All last year, I said we have a Super Bowl caliber defense. This year, it's even better. So for me, every game we've been in because of our defense. So with that logic, I've always been like, all right, it sucks, but there's still a path forward. And I've also preached, I know some people may not jive with this, but, in one-score games in our first year, we were 7-0. The next year, we were 7-5. To start this year, we were 0-5. Like, yes, there is an element of like you having to make those plays, but there's also an element of variance or luck of the ball bouncing your way and getting breaks in those games. And lo and behold, on this 3-game win streak, we have gotten those breaks. Yes, we've made plays and Davis Mills has played well, but it kind of reverted back to the mean. So, I mean, if you look at it through those lenses, it's not like, we're losing games by 20, 30 points. But regardless, I've been, feeling good. And obviously you could call me crazy for thinking that we could win the 3 games with Mills. I still thought Mills was, what he did, I'm not surprised by. I thought he's one of the best backups in the league. So I'm obviously very excited. And then I'm just glad that fans got to watch outside of the Texans, the Thursday night game against the Bills, because that's what like I just said, it's all based off the defense, and they see what I see now. And part of it too is a lot of fans, even our own fans, it took a game like that for them to realize how good the defense is. But in my opinion, they've been playing the same way. It's just the game played out differently. I mean, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., before teams even play us, they changed their entire game plan. So they may not have sacks and this and that, but that does not mean they are disrupting the game. Teams don't even throw the ball deep and give them a chance to get sacks. But this was finally a game script where the offense got the lead, and you played a team that tried to throw the ball downfield, and look what happened. You got 8 sacks and several turnovers. So to me, it's the same thing. So I'm chilling. I'm not like too high. Like, I've learned to humble myself, coming off of the 2023 to 2024 year. But this team has a chance to win every game. And now it's just you get Stroud back, and you hope the offense is continuing the trajectory it was on before he got hurt. And I think they can make a run.
I mean, yeah, with the offense before he got hurt, Jaden Higgins was like kind of an afterthought, and it seems like he's come alive now. Even though I think it was more of the Christian Kirk factor, but it seems like Higgins getting involved more has been really awesome for the offense. Good for my fantasy bench this week, unfortunately, but yeah, I think you hit on a lot of things. Obviously, Derek Stingley, incredible cornerback, already looking like he's one of the best defensive players in Texans' short history, but incredible. When the Vikings got rid of Danielle Hunter when they just didn't, I was so happy as a Packers fan to not have to deal with that specimen-sized human being in my division anymore. Just a freak-looking human. And it's like the Packers, man. Like, you got two sick edge rushers out there. You got a game plan against it. So if they're not getting home as often as like fans might want them to be getting home, well, they're changing the entire offensive game script in front of them. You can't just hold on to the ball. They're going to get in your lap sooner than later. We saw it against Josh Allen. We've seen it enough. This is a playoff caliber defense. Been calling it and saying that all year long. But right now, I mean, speaking of playoffs, I mean, y'all are what? You're winners of 4 or 5. I believe you're up to 6-5 now, third in the AFC South, in probably a spot that I bet the first half, no one thought y'all would be in. So for the back half, the rest of the season now, what is like the fans' expectations for the Texans? Are we like, well, we better make the playoffs, or are we like kind of pumping the brakes on that?
So again, like I'm different than most. I've been confident the whole time, but I engage with a lot of fans, and our fan base is awesome. And a lot of people have been super down on us, and it's shifted quite a bit. But there's still people that still think it's a tough road ahead. But my personal opinion is like, and I said it even when we were 0-3 and 3-5, like the division is not out of play, man. Like, like my big thing is like with the NFL and sports, or I guess the NFL, like us as fans, we are so quick to like crown, certain teams as this or that. Like the Colts, great team, but like all this talk about the best offense in the last decade, like all this crazy talk. And it's like, we're not even halfway through the season. And, opponents and schedules matter. Like you go back and while you're in it, you think you know what those opponents are, but you really don't, because every year it changes. And it goes on both ends. Like the Texans schedule is like, damn, that was pretty tough. Like we thought that wasn't a tough schedule. Like, no, that was actually a tough schedule. Look at the Colts schedule. Like, oh, that was actually not that tough of a schedule. So with that being said, like we're only 2 games back from the Colts in the division, and we played them twice, and they played the Jags twice, who are only 1 game back of them.
Yep.
And they play, I believe they have the Niners and another tough team. They have some tough games out, and they play the Seahawks as well. So they could lose several games.
Danny Dimes is looking a little shaky. He looked a little shaky against KC. Like fans are noticing it. It's like, oh shit, this is not the Danny Dimes we've been seeing. This looks like an old Danny Dimes sometimes.
So my whole argument on the Colts has been, okay, why have they been good? It's been because of their offense. Okay, why has their offense been good? Because of their run game. Okay, Jonathan Taylor, obviously a great back, obviously a good O-line. But if you look at their whole first part of the schedule, they have played like bottom to middle rush defenses. So yeah, their rush offense looks good because it's good matchups. And any game they've played against a decent run defense, Rams, Broncos, it's either been a loss or close to a loss. And then the Chiefs, like they have a decent run defense and they beat them. And honestly, that game shouldn't have been as close as it was. But now when they match up with the Texans this Sunday, we have one of the best run defenses in the league. So, I mean, it's like matchups matter. So I'm not sitting here saying like that means we're going to beat them, but like it doesn't mean we should be scared of them like they're some juggernaut impossible to beat. So, I mean, you factor that in, and then we're only a game back from the 7th seed. And you couple it with the fact that you watched that Thursday night game and you see a backup quarterback who did okay. He did good enough to win, but like he still missed a lot of throws, and you still beat the best offense in the NFL, made him look silly. Like if you can do that to Josh Allen, you can do that to any team. So to me, it's like, I feel good. Like, I mean, they could lose potentially. I think they could lose. People are saying that it's 10 wins at the least to be the 7th seed. I think 9 wins could potentially get in, honestly. I know it doesn't look like that now, but things always kind of come down to even, in my opinion, in the NFL. Like everyone's so close. So, but regardless, like I'm confident they can at the very least finish with 10 wins and only lose 2 more games, even though we have a tough schedule ahead.
Yeah, no, I can see it. And I'm not a believer in the Jaguars thing. I just can't trust anything they got. As long as Trevor Lawrence is at quarterback, I can't trust it. He is too turnover prone. He is too mistake prone. He's still making the same mistakes he made day one. I said a couple episodes ago, he peaked when he was 19 years old, and he's kind of stayed plateaued ever since then. So, and the Jaguars, as a totality, are what they are. I have more faith in the Texans when you have a top 2 defense in football and it looks as good as the Texans look. You can seriously win any game. When you can, I know the Bills have had their struggles. The offense, in totality, the Bills have just had their struggles this year, and Josh Allen hasn't had the best year that he's normally accustomed to having. But the fact that y'all still went belts to asses on him the way y'all did, that's still very, very good offense. If not, like you said, the best offense you can face in the AFC on any given Sunday, and made them look silly. So where is this team maybe taking the biggest leap forward this year comparatively to last year? And then, inverse of that coin as well. What's been the biggest step back besides probably Stroud haven't recovered since his rookie season as much? But what's the biggest jump? What's the biggest step back this year?
First, I'll say, Ball, I agree on the Jaguars take, and Jaguars fans, they're starting to come around, but some get mad. Like, Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence, bro. I think Liam Cohen's a great coach, and the team is pretty good, but, they're kind of held back by him. But
how much more do you need to see? That's what I say. How much more do you need to see? It's been a whole rookie contract.
How many coaches has he had and schemes has he had? And he's still doing the same stuff. And, my prediction is, they move on from him. I know his contract's, tough, and he has no trade clause, but Liam Cohen at some point, he's maximizing his, he's winning in spite of him. He has 3 turnovers or 4 turnovers, I believe, total against the Cardinals, and they still somehow win. But they
want their own guy. You can see it on the sideline.
That's my point. Yeah, Cohen. Cohen is very animated. I think he's a great coach, but at a certain point, his ass is on the line, and he's like, all right, I'm trying to make what I have be better than what it is, but at a certain point, it is what it is, and I want my own guy. So,
Gladstone's a new young hotshot, and he'll
make something crazy happen, yeah. But as far as the Texans, so I would say things they improved on the most this year would be, obviously, the offense has been slow to get going. And has had its own issues. And Kaylee, I believe, is an upgrade from Slowick, and he's still finding his way. I'm still ambivalent on him. A lot of people have been wanting to fire him. I haven't gotten that far. I'm still giving him grace, and I've seen a lot of good stuff. But I guess, especially the second half of the first half of the season, you can see that they've gotten better. Now this new offense, they're empowered to make decisions like the quarterback ID in the mic, receivers running hot routes or adjusting their routes based off coverages. So they've gotten that part of it down. But now that I think about it, the offensive line and pass protection has improved the most on this team. And last year, our O-line was terrible. And it was mostly, obviously, we had physical issues personnel-wise of Shaq Mason, Kenyon Green just getting beat physically. But a majority of the pressures we gave up in quick unblocked pressures was just mental. It was just you'd run a simple stunt or a twist, and then a guy would just come running free, or a blitz, and no one would block him. We've pretty much all but eliminated that. And that's what I've argued is at least give yourself a chance. I can live with us being outmanned and getting beat physically here and there, but you cannot afford just to give teams free rushes just because you don't know what you're doing mentally. And so they fired the O-line coach, Chris Strausser, as well as Bobby Slowick, promoted internal O-line coach Cole Popovich, which people were questioning. And Cole Popovich deserves credit. He has buttoned all that stuff up. There's no more mental mistakes. So they've mightily improved in that area. And
was that mid-season? Sorry, was that a mid-season thing?
No, it was after the season.
Okay. So I think the O-line was one of the big reasons earlier this season, everyone's bailing out Stroud. The O-line is just terrible. You can't quarterback behind this O-line. Did something change mid-season? Did they? Or
no, a couple of things, but I've been trying to highlight this, but the O-line hasn't been as bad as people think. But first, I will say I don't necessarily agree with the approach that Nick Caserio took in trading Laramie Tunsil and then not really having a plan to replace him. You get all this draft capital and then don't use it, and then you draft a bunch of receivers who I love and then don't play them when you could have drafted linemen. You drafted Ursary, who I think is good and still ascending, but he's a rookie, so you're putting all this weight on a guy to be your franchise left tackle, and he's learning on the fly. And then you kind of just get some veterans, Laken Tomlinson, who was a flop, and then Ed Ingram, who somehow is really good. So they kind of took a risky approach, but I've said Popovich, what I said, the mental side has been pretty much buttoned up from the beginning. And I think there was like PTSD from the year before. Everyone just assumed our O line sucked. I'm talking about pass pro. So run blocking
Yeah.
interior has been struggling. But as far as pass pro goes, it's been much better. A lot of it too is just the scheme. Like Kaylee, there's a concerted effort by this offense to get the ball out quick, which I mean, the Texans played the Niners and, they were blitzing, but Stroud got the ball out in like under 2 seconds. You can't, I mean, it doesn't matter how good your pass rush is if you get the ball
Mhm.
out. So that's a big part of it. But as far as it improving, I think it's just chemistry. But there's been personnel changes. Like, we've had injuries and guys not pan out. So obviously, Ursary has kind of pretty much played left tackle the whole time. But Ed Ingram, a right guard who's playing like a top guard, surprisingly has missed a couple games here and there. But the biggest thing that has changed is Trent Brown coming back and then him playing
Mhm.
right tackle. And since then, we've kind of found something new. And then this last game against the Bills was the first time of this newest iteration of the O line, which I think is the best one going forward, especially for how we want to run our offense, which is a downhill, physical running offense is what we want to be.
Mhm.
But Trent Brown at right tackle, Ed Ingram at right guard, Jake Andrews at center, and now Titus Howard, who normally plays right tackle, at left guard. He's played
Mhm.
right tackle, left guard, right guard. He's played every position for us this year and even more through his whole career. So that right there is the new lineup, and that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you need the consistency up front. It's just any quarterback, anyone will tell you, you need to have that consistency. And, the Patriots are another team I think of where it's like, hey, this is not the greatest O line of football. They're doing just enough to make it work. Like Drake May is getting sacked a lot, but with anything they got going for them, they're getting better. And they've played most every single game, have had like the same starting O line. I think it's like 10 of 11 games. And that consistently matters. Those guys, you want to know who's next to you. You guys know what's going on next to you. You know you can trust the guy next to you. You have some just cohesion and whatnot. And so if the Texans can find that, that will be huge down the stretch. Even if it's not the best, as long as those guys are at least on the same page, it matters a ton. Sticking behind the offensive line, what are y'all doing with running back? I'm a big Woody Marks fan. I love that he's willing to stick his grill into anyone that comes up in his way in pass, bro. But is he the guy? Joe Mixon, obviously, we have no idea. Damian Pierce is gone now, right? I think they cut him, which was that fall off was that quick. That was a quick turnaround on him. And then obviously Nick Chubb. We just know what that is at this point. What are we doing there? Are we drafting a guy? Are we running Woody Marks long term? Is Joe Mixon get another shot?
Yeah, Damian Pierce was tough, and my problem is like the writing was on the wall that he wasn't going to be a factor in this team. They should have traded him in the spring for a 6th or 7th round pick. Instead, you wait to the season to start, becomes a healthy inactive, don't trade him at the trade deadline, and then just cut him and get nothing. So that kind of irked me as a Texans fan. But yeah, running back room has been interesting. The whole Joe Mixon thing is very peculiar. You don't know for sure, but you suspect they signed Nick Chubb because they had an inkling it might go the way it's been going. I think Nick Chubb is average, just slightly above average. But lately, a lot of fans have been wanting Woody Marks to get the lion's share, and that's happened the past 3-4 weeks, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that recipe is not only good for Woody Marks, but it's also good for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is much more effective as now the change of pace back, oddly enough. Someone who's older. But now when he comes in with, 5 to 8 carries later in the game, he looks spry when he does do that, as opposed to, being the bell cow. And, it kind of took a while to get there. Obviously, you want us to start Woody Marks sooner in the season, but you can tell from watching the game, he's a rookie. He's still learning a lot. There's times where there's miscues. Obviously, pass pro, blitz pickup is a big part of it, which he shows reps where he's like levels guys, but sometimes there's some mental stuff here and there, but he's gotten pretty solid there. So he's the RB1. And the biggest thing, too, is Nick Caley kind of emulates more of the Josh McDaniel Patriots offense. And he kind of does Rams as well, but he wants to run the ball in between the tackles. And, last year we were wide zone with Bobby Slowick. And so, but now he's learning is like, okay, like Woody Marks is good at running outside. So it doesn't mean running a wide zone offense. Yes, you can run some wide zone or mid zone, but we're starting to see tosses as well, especially in the red zone. So, he's starting to, at first we were just running like duo and split zone all day. And now he's mixing in, counters and pulling tackles and guards and other. So he's mixing up the run game. So Kaylee is evolving and adapting to his personnel. And I think it will continue to get better. And then not to mention that O-line, I mentioned that new configuration there. So the run game should get better. And then again, we talked about schedules. Like we played a ton of really good run defenses. Like, a lot of our struggles early on were because of short yardage. We couldn't get a yard in the goal line or short yardage. A lot of it's because our personnel is not up to par and the play calling wasn't good, but a lot of it was opponents. So the Colts rush defense is not that great. So I think, going forward, the rush offense should be better, and Woody Marks should produce, and they should continue the trend that they've done.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Woody Marks. I like it. Last thing I gotta ask, because again, CJ Stroud, everyone had everything to say after the rookie season. The sophomore slump hit him in the worst type of way, and then this season, when he's been healthy, has just been really slow. It feels like. What are your thoughts long term? Are you stamping him already as like, that's the guy, I want to give him the biggest contract imaginable? Because if we're talking contract, it's not going to be small. Are y'all comfortable as Texans fan, like at this point, stamping that contract on him, or is there more y'all need to see before you're buying into CJ Stroud is the guy long term?
I am. I mean, from what I've seen, like I saw in his very first game, dude, like I was like, this guy got it, has it. The stuff that I've seen, last year and then early this year, he has played bad himself. There is onus on him, but it started with the scheme, the play calling, and the pass protection. And then you have residual trickle down effects that now starts to affect him. But I mean, you look at Josh Allen, that game, the MVP, how bad did he look? I mean, he finally experienced some of what Stroud was going through. So any quarterback in those situations can look mightily different. You start making dumb decisions. I mean, I'm going through the tape now. Like, yes, there was pass rush, but like a lot of it was his fault. Like he had guys open, he was freaking out. His internal clock was sped up. The same stuff we've been seeing with Stroud. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I get it. Like I think most fans will say they want to see more, and he has that to prove now the second half of the year, and I think he will. But I think he's probably in the low 60s as far as APY, and it just is what it is. Like, I mean, you got some fans saying that Davis Mills should keep starting over CJ Stroud, which to me is just insane. Obviously he played well and saved our season, but like you got to be real about this. So I mean, the upside with him is really high. And then as far as this season goes, my kind of take of how it's gone is first time play caller and Nick Caley. He's still finding his way play calling wise and adapting and evolving. Like I mentioned, we're more of like a Patriots, Josh McDaniels type offense where this is what CJ Stroud wanted. He wanted more power and control of the offense, which with Shanahan, they dumb it down to take less off, take stuff off the plate of the quarterback. So now they can just make one or two simple reads. But, and so what happened with that is now there's an adjustment. Like, and first I think that as far as control for Stroud goes, I assumed that they would give him the keys right away. It seems like they kind of stepped it up and eased him into it. And then obviously he had this control and he said it in college and in high school. And so I just assumed he would hit the ground running. But, it's been a couple years since he's had full control of an offense, and it's his first time in an NFL offense to have full control against NFL defenses. So there was a little bit of learning curve there. So he's setting the mic, setting the protections now. So he is having to get reps at that and work on that. So that's part of it as well. But like a big part early for me was it's not only him adapting to the new offense with the new coordinator, but he has new personnel, new O-linemen, new receivers. Like early on, a lot of the struggles, like people would watch the game and a receiver would run here and the ball would be here and like, oh, what a terrible throw. I'm like, no, like Stroud isn't all of a sudden just wildly inaccurate. Like it's a miscommunication. So, this offense is about empowering players, the quarterback empowered to make decisions. And it's instead of saying, hey, we're going to run this no matter what, it's like, no, like we're going to react to the defense. Whatever they give us, we'll do this. And so the receivers, they have more autonomy to adjust their routes based off of leverage, coverage, etc. But the problem is they have to do it the right way, and they have to see it the same way as the quarterback. So now, if this cornerback's here and the quarterback's like, yeah, you should break in, and he breaks out and you throw it here, like it can look terrible and it can turn into a turnover. So I think that's a big part of it. And receivers as well, just like simple stuff as like sitting in zones. They were running through zones when they shouldn't. And they had rookies too, Higgins, Knoll, even Nico kind of struggled with these things in this offense because it's new to them. So I think that started to pick up. But I do think against Seattle, Stroud did play his worst game of the season, but then he rebounded worst game of his career. And then I do think he rebounded with the best game of his career against San Francisco. So, and then I believe that he started to carry that over against Denver until he got hurt. So that to me is like sucks because like I really felt like he and this offense turned a corner. And so I'm hoping when he comes back, it's still, there's no rust to knock off there.
Well, I mean, the Seahawks are making just about every quarterback look tough. I mean, the Rams even struggle against that Seahawks defense. So it doesn't surprise me that he struggled there. And then, the 49ers trotting out a JV defense at this point with all the injuries. I think the biggest thing, Ohio State quarterbacks, they get, rightfully so, get a lot of criticism when they come to the NFL. They don't translate. CJ Stroud so far has got the best path to actually translating. But when you leave an offense in college that designs guys open where you don't really got to think about it much, right? And you're just throwing to your first read because it's just how it works there. This is the level of being able to process when you get to the NFL and having to not just strictly rely on guys getting designed open, your first read type of thing is it's an adjustment. I think he's definitely, like I said, been the best Ohio State quarterback at adjusting so far. The point I think where the questions coming where I can see the criticism is like, how much is he elevating the offense when you see Davis Mills come in, win games, play to a quality enough level, and then you see CJ Stroud's like, well, this is the guy we're expecting to pay $60 million a year, but we just saw Davis Allen kind of do just as good in this offense. Is like that's where it's like kind of with San Francisco again. Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. One of them's getting paid a lot, the other one's not. And the offense is not much better with either one of them. So I think that's where I think CJ Stroud's ceiling is obviously incredibly just way higher than Davis Mills. Let's all be very clear on that. But I understand where the hesitation at least comes from. It's like, hey, if you're paying a guy $60 million, he better be the one elevating the offense. He better be the one that's clearly taking this unit over the top. And I think it's fair that some fans are still waiting for that to flash again like it did his rookie year. That's all, which I think is reasonable, but I still think he is the guy.
That's very fair. I mean, and I've had this conversation like with that defense, so that's tough. Like if it depends on how your team's built. Like a lot of teams that pay quarterbacks, their offensive focus and the offense is the elite unit carrying the team. This is like, hey, we have an elite defense. We just need an offense to be average and to complement the defense. So I think there is some benefit in the fact that Stroud was out and watched Mills come in as a backup. His whole mindset is different. His mindset is like, I can't lose this game. And that was, you could tell was the game plan from the head coach is like, hey, super conservative, just don't turn the ball over. This defense will win the game for you. And so it's tough when you're someone like Stroud who can make plays to have this like super constrained, conservative mindset. And that's been his biggest struggle is like learning to take check downs and learning not to go for the home run, learning to take the cheap yards. So, and he's been slowly getting better at that. So that's totally fair. But like, I'm hoping him watching Mills play is like, oh, dang, like I don't have to be Superman. Like Mills was just doing what he was told and we won. So, and that's fair. And, we'll see how it shakes out. And then now if he can do that and then learn when to take his shots and really elevate, like that's where I think this team can be really good. Like I think just a slightly below average offense, this is a contender. Average offense contender. Yeah. Like, if this offense now is above average, like a top 10 offense with that defense, I mean, as good as the Texans defense has been, like numbers and stats wise, they've been held back mightily by the offense. Like the offense turning the ball over and allowing teams to score. Like very few times does an opposing offense drive the full length of the field on the Texans defense. If they do, it's like penalties or multiple fourth downs. Most of the time it's because of short fields because of our offense. On the flip side, they give the ball to our offense, like in that Bills game, multiple times in the opponent's territory, and they don't score touchdowns and don't put the game away. But then now if you can get an offense to give this team a lead and let that defense really pin their ears back and have to throw the ball deep, it could be scary. So I agree with those thoughts.
Yeah, you just got to score 20. You got so much talent. The pass catchers are ridiculous. Dalton Schultz has been so reliable as just a check down weapon, essentially. Well, not check down, just short yardage stuff. He's been extremely reliable and pretty efficient this year. You have all the pass catchers you could ever ask for. I have no idea when Tank is coming back, but I guess last thing I'll ask you as we get you out of here, you're sitting in the GM chair. What's the move this offseason to really get this team over the top, maybe over the hump? What are you doing? Maybe in the draft, trade, anything you got your eye on?
So first off, to your point, like I posted a clip this morning. D'Amico Ryan says all I'm trying to get is 21 points. And I went and looked at it. If we scored 21 points in every game, we'd be 9-2. I mean,
that's incredible.
That's insane,
incredible,
right? But as far as the moves going forward, like I wanted them to make a move at the trade deadline for Brees Hall for a running back because, and
Ooh.
then several days later it comes out from Ian Rappaport that Joe Mixon's out for the year, but then Mixon says like, you don't know me, like making it sound like he might be
Mhm,
back. But like if the
mhm.
Texans knew that Mixon was out, and yes, the O-line run blocking isn't great, but the back's as good as what he is. He's still young and finding his way. Last year, Joe Mixon, the run blocking was terrible in a different scheme, but he made it work. He made it look a lot better than what it was. So, like,
Mhm.
we haven't really seen that kind of play where a running back can make it look better. I watch other teams like even J.K. Dobbins when the Broncos played us, like he was making stuff shake on his own. I mean, so you watch some backs like James Cook, like he's just bouncing runs outsides, like kind of making stuff happen. So, a running back, whether that's drafting or signing one in free agency, and obviously, I think we need to draft an interior O lineman at guard for sure. Those would be my two things for sure.
Guard, running back. I mean, look, there's going to be some okay running backs in this class. I don't think y'all are going to be in a spot to be able to get Jeremiah Love, unfortunately. I think he's he reached the territory of don't overthink it, like top 10 pick. Like, I know it's a running back, don't overthink this one. But one of my favorites, and I don't know how you'll feel about him, but Jonah Coleman out of Washington, because I'm out in the Washington area watching him play for the Huskies every weekend. Been one of my favorite running backs to watch the last 2 years. He's a little beat up, I'll give you that, and he's a big fella. He's a bowling ball. But oh my goodness, is he just a fun running back. Go watch the tape on Jonah Coleman. You'll get excited. You'll be like, I would like to see that in my backfield. That fella would be awesome. So strongly encourage it. I'm a big fan of him. I'm going to be a fan of his wherever he goes in the NFL. So I can get down with the Texans. I don't hate the Texans at all. But all right, and as was Wisconsin guy, JJ Watt, all the love there.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
all right, Garrett, thank you so much for taking the time today. Where can the people find all the work that you're doing around the Texans?
I appreciate it, Austin. Yeah, so I mean, I'm at Texans Commenter right there, COMMENTER on pretty much every platform: X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or it's either at Houston Stressens, like right here in the bottom, STRESSANS. I have a website, HoustonStressens.com, with a free newsletter. I write articles, got videos, I got merch. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm just a fan who made this thing organically and has kind of become what it is, and it's just, I just love the Texans. That's it. And football. I
That's
love the NFL in general.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of what we're trying to do on this platform, is just give more fans who love covering the team and the platform to have a voice and share their voice. So appreciate you doing this. Hopefully one day we can change that name from Houston Stressens to Houston something
Blessings.
positive. What is
That's
it?
blessings. That's my hook line. Like
Houston
when I
Blessings.
I do like a love it or hate it. And so like I'll say, are you blessing or stressing? And so,
I got it.
we all kind of use those words like, oh, I'm stressing. Oh, I'm blessing, so yeah, hopefully
I
Houston blessings.
Hey, it's taken 25 years to get to some consistently winning football a little bit, but here we are for the most part. There's flashes in the pan, but here we are. You made it this far. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on. We'll get this all out, but yeah, have a great one, Garrett. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it, Austin.
All right, that was talking Texans. Now let's just pop over quick to our Cowboys conversation. All right, that was talking Texans. Now let's just pop over quick to our Cowboys conversation. All right, that was talking Texans. Now let's just pop over quick to our Cowboys conversation. All right, that was talking Texans. Now let's just pop over quick to our Cowboys conversation. All right, that was talking Texans. Now let's just pop over quick to our. All right, next up for our Fan Friday, we got a Cowboys fan, our first Cowboys fan to come on the show and join Iman, our resident ex-Cowboys fan. What a dynamic. I'm excited about it. Josie, appreciate you taking the time, and you kind of just went super viral, and now I'm just finding out that there's a story behind this. So why don't you tell us to kick this off? Your story behind your viral dancing video at the Cowboy game recently.
Yeah, it literally, like I said, there is a story, and people are just judging me for not that. They think I'm dancing because the Cowboys are winning it against the Raiders, and they weren't winning at that time, to be honest. It was a dance break during the Raiders game. My dad's a huge Cowboys fan, and that's the reason we went to the game. I'm born and raised Las Vegas. I'm in Idaho now, but since the Raiders moved to Vegas, which was announced, 2017, give or take? They didn't move
Sure.
till 2020, but something like that. This has been in the talks with my dad. So we went, great time, first NFL game with my dad. So that on itself, Huge.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the dance break comes on. I think the song was Everybody Dance Now. Don't quote me on that. And it's like, stand up, do this, do that. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to do this weird dance in my seat. not follow the directions and do that. Didn't post it right away because, I'm at the game. I'm enjoying it with my dad. He recorded it on his phone. I sent it at the end of the game when we were winning. So fair on that.
Yeah.
And just said, trust me, I'm a good time at sports games.
Yep.
And of course, that also was like, how come you didn't say NFL game? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God. What's wrong with people? How are we going to?
I did a silly little dance during a dance break, and people are coming at me like they'd rather sit next to Adolf Hitler. But
wow.
What? Are you serious?
How do we get there? How do we get
on there? So
dance on video Adolf Hitler. I don't know how we got from A to B on that one.
I don't know. But honestly, I was already doing the dance ahead of time. And my dad was like, I want to record this and send this to your uncle. And I'm like, bet. So
wow. Okay. Wow. There's a whole story.
And here we are.
And here we are.
But I got $88 from it. So.
Oh, that post made you $88?
$88 was wearing 88.
That's crazy. Now that's crazy.
Wow.
$88.
88, iconic.
You might be the reason that Ceedee can't catch a pass now. So you might be. You got all of his 88 juju. You took all of his juice from him.
Well, I got an idea. Why don't we start at the receivers with the Cowboys? Because George Pickens is coming in and absolutely balling out. Like he's having serious wide receiver one type of season. So. If you had gun your head, you could only have one of them to start next season. Who you taking?
Don't get me in trouble with Cowboys.
Come on. Who is it? This much hesitation tells me all I need to know is that's where we're at.
All that it needs to tell you. Right now, Pickens has proven himself. He's eager to stay a Cowboy. I do think Jerry's probably going to franchise tag him, and it's going to be pissing probably Pickens off because he deserves that contract. Right now, he is playing better than Ceedee Lamb.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. I feel like we do have two wide receiver ones right now, and it's great. I did not think Pickens would be Ceedee level, if not better. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think Pickens should be mad.
Wearing the iconic 88, so
Yes, she says disclaimer. She's wearing the 88 jersey. Yes, she says this. So
he just signed that contract. Yeah.
What were we gonna say on Iman?
Pickens shouldn't be mad that he's franchised because just being a Cowboy fan, I stay kind of tight on the news. I've been hearing he's been late for meetings, missing meetings, so he's got to
got pulled for the first drive.
Well, they said it was for the Las Vegas, but Pickens been missing meetings and being late to meetings since day one, which part of why they got him out of Pittsburgh. And don't get me wrong, I know if you can produce on the field, you can be late a few times, you can fall asleep, but Jerry wants to see him grow up, so he's not going to get the big bag at first. Jerry's going to want to see him grow up a little bit more before he give him generational money. But yeah.
I mean, the offense has got a running back. They got two wide receiver ones. They got an awesome tight end. Dak's still doing well. The defense is what it is. Quentin Williams has been playing nice since he's got there. At least you got that going. I guess what is the general sense of the fan base right now? 5-5-1, second in the division. What's the pulse of the Cowboys fan base right now?
This is our year.
No, not again. 20 years running, this is our year. No. Oh, boy.
No.
Okay, so what's actually the pulse of the Cowboys fan base?
Ideally, it would be nice to slide into the playoffs. Will we make it far in the playoffs? No. History proves that, right? But ideally, I'd love to see us at least make the playoffs. And with the schedule we've got coming up, it might be doable to slide into that 7th seed. It might be, but it's a tall task.
Yeah, Chiefs. You got Chiefs, Lions, Vikings. That's Vikings. Let's be honest. BTA on that one. And then Chargers. I could see that being a 40-40 type of game. Commanders.
Another tie? No, thank you.
Yeah. Oh my, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a tie. The Commanders should also be belts to ass on that one. And then same with Cowboys Giants. Let's be honest, that's going to be interesting. So I feel like you can feel good about 2 wins coming up. That gets you to 7.
Mhm.
Chiefs are kind of there.
I don't know. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs this week.
They
Now,
could. The
like
Chiefs
I
look
tell you,
vulnerable.
I ain't a big, like I said, I'm not a big Cowboy fan. It's just that I think their defense is playing good at the right time, stopping the run. I mean, and the offense going to always be if Dak doesn't make mistakes, he's proven that he's just going to be top 5 when he doesn't make mistakes. But we got to see if he's thinking about turkey on Thursday and
He
and
wants
not
that
football.
turkey. You know he wants
He does. I think they're gonna get the Chiefs though. I think they're gonna get the Chiefs. So I think
I
they
can
can
see
win
it.
3 out of those. Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, what's been kind of the most frustrating part about this season for you? Because obviously, with the defense being what it was, I can assume it was around the defense. And then after we get some frustrations out, like what's been like your most pleasant surprise or what you're feeling best about?
Well, we already talked about Pickens. That was a nice surprise to him to plug in. And, part of that also might be that he's not getting they might be doing double coverage on him now, but Ceedee is the one that they're going to be covering. So Pickens is producing, and that's really nice. The pickup of Quentin Williams, that was huge and definitely has made an impact on the defense, not even just on the field, but the leadership in the locker room. Obviously the Cowboys went through that tragic event with Nealon.
Oh, yeah.
So that morale right there and having that leadership in the locker room, as well as their coach, like he really hypes up the wins. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos where he shouts out every player for every positive thing that goes on that field. I think that's huge for the guys, that's kind of just meshing now.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
still climb.
And I think Jerry doesn't get enough credit because I do say
that's coming from someone who hates Jerry Jones.
Well, no. See, listen, I tell people all the time, I don't hate Jerry. It's just like when you're married to somebody for 30 years and the past 15 years ain't good, you kind of forget about the first fucking 15.
You divorced them, so yeah.
Yeah, and he's trying to bring me flowers every Sunday, and I'm like, get them shits out of my face. But I do think he nailed the coaching job. People slept on Brian Schottenheimer, and I think he's doing an awesome job. He's a players guy, and I mean, people just got to give it to him. The Quentin Williams, George Pickens, even the linebacker.
Logan Wilson.
Yeah, listen, he's been playing because I told Austin I made a video of James and 50 and 59 the other day, and I told you that 100,000 because I was just trashing them. Those 2 guys were the worst linebackers I've ever seen in the NFL. So Logan Wilson has actually added, and Overshawn is back, has added some real good play there. I got to give it to Jared. Yeah, he's a killer.
I was pissed when he went to the Cowboys. He was one of those guys like at the time the Packers really could have used a good linebacker ad. I loved him at Texas. I thought that was a huge move. He's balled out when he's been healthy. And I told y'all, Logan Wilson might have been struggling a bit this year, but he's had good seasons for the Bengals. Let's be clear. There's still some stuff in there. But otherwise, y'all need to get rid of Eberflus. Wherever he goes, tragedy follows in the sense of like your best pass rusher is going to become shit. The defense is going to be really skeptical, even though that's supposed to be his thing. Like, get rid of him, and y'all, then I can take the Cowboys seriously again. You're going to be 1 year away until you get rid of Matt Eberflus. I promise you. Ask Bears fan too on that one. I mean, I guess speaking of like getting rid of people and whatnot, or bringing people in, like what's like on your wish list for this offseason if you had to do anything to get the Cowboys maybe into winning a playoff game territory?
Sign Pickens, sign Aubrey, which they need to work on that because he's due for his extension.
Big money for a kicker. Big money.
Yeah. Even though he missed from 51 last game, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Might just casually hit from
accurate.
70.
He's great. Defense, definitely. We still need some upgrades. Obviously, you being a Packers fan, Micah Parsons.
Hey, now.
That's a huge hole. Kenny Clark has been pretty good. Maybe re-signing him if we have the money, but also that's not something that I'm like.
He's already 30. It's not worth it. No, he's already 30.
A year or two. Why not?
If it's going to be a cheap year, like cheap
Why
year,
not?
I would do it. He's awesome. I love Kenny. I have no hate for Kenny.
But we've got those 2 draft picks in the first round. We didn't give those up, so that's solid on Jerry with his trading abilities because he only gave up a second for this coming year. So using your draft pick as well as our draft pick and getting some key playmakers on the defense. I think first round just needs to be both defender players.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You don't need to do anything on offense unless maybe you want a lineman, but I would say it's a good
later
corner.
in the draft, maybe a quarterback. I don't know what the quarterback class looks like this year, or if it's better in the following year. But Dak, he's good right now, but he's a roller coaster, and he's probably only got a few more good years left on him before we need something there.
What was because you brought up Michael Parsons? Could you like reenact your exact reaction when you found out when the Michael Parsons news came across your screen?
Well, the first time that the Micah Parsons news, not that he was traded, but that he was in talks of being traded, I was at Disneyland, so that's real fun for me. I'm
Ruined
like,
that trip.
I'm in the happiest place on earth, and number 11 might be going to the Packers. Love that for me.
Yeah.
And my dad did just buy me a Parsons jersey that Christmas too. So I have a rule where I typically don't get rookie contract jerseys because, trades just happen too much. But Micah's just like that generational talent that you're like, I want it. I need it. I got it. But then he went away.
And how did you react? And then the news came and you said.
And then the news came, and because it was already talked about so much, like, you kind of knew it was happening.
You were slightly numb already.
So, yeah, definitely was already a numb feeling. And, like, obviously there was that little bit of hope that maybe he'd stay somehow. But in the end, kind of like reflecting on it, it needed to happen in order to open up some money to give to other players and have some room to sign and make these bigger deals that we have done with some of the players. Yeah, well, in that sense, I don't know. He didn't do that well against the Cowboys. He did get his sack on Dak, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That was frustrating.
I'm glad he's not in the division and can't come back to the division until that contract's up. Since we did that whole whatever the clause is that he can't come back to the NFC East.
That's right. I forgot about the clause. I mean, he did do nothing in that Cowboys game. That was frustrating. That he waited to the very last moment
to get that sack on Dak during garbage time. Yeah, well, not garbage time because it was a tie.
I spend every week telling him that Micah's not going to do anything when it matters. He's a guy that just dominates when it doesn't matter. So he's part of the reason I left too, because I was
talking about playoffs.
I was always looking for him to just be Lawrence Taylor in the playoff, and he was never that. So I was glad he left. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was glad he left. Yeah. He's not a leader, and you would think a generational talent like that would be a leader.
Well, he's had good feedback in the Packers locker room.
He's not doing his podcast. That's what I'm saying. He's not doing the podcast with y'all, with us. He wanted to do a damn podcast after.
He don't need to because Jordan Love was his guy. Now he's just got the locker room with his boys, so we don't need the podcast for that. No, just do it in the locker room, homies.
For sure.
Yeah, it's great. No, we're gonna win a Super Bowl together. And it's gonna be really cool when that happens too. So I mean,
I've seen 3.
We'll wait for that.
Yeah, I've seen 3. So I'm 3 ahead of you, Austin. You only seen 1 in your lifetime.
Well, technically not. I was born the year with Favre when they won.
You didn't watch it.
I was alive for it. Goddamn it, I was alive for it.
I used that same thing on the Cowboys last Super Bowl because I was alive. I might have been 6 months old, but I was alive.
Oh, the last time they won one?
Yeah, because I was born in 1995, and that was the last season they were good. So
can't have them all.
My dad says I cursed him. It's fine.
Ooh, that's tough.
It might have been your fault, Josie. Goodness grief, you might have been the person that's been haunting.
Might have been the one.
Don't give me more shit on live, poor guys.
Good. It's all good.
Right.
Who's the top 5 players? But I always ask everybody, Austin, like their top 5. Who's your top 5 Cowboys of all time?
Witten and Ware are the top 2.
Ooh,
no doubt about.
Great picks.
Witten's huge, great leadership role. That's one of the reasons I really hate the Raiders now, because he did go back and play for them for a year, and that pissed me off. But at the same time, he wasn't great in the ESPN booth either. So
terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Ware was very mad when he went to the Broncos, but glad he got a ring because, again, that leadership style, quality, great. Sean Lee would be another one that I really enjoyed. I wish his career was longer. Definitely.
Yeah.
And on the same track as that, Leighton Vander Esch, I'm from Boise State. That was a huge first-round pick. Same kind of shoes as Sean Lee.
Big neck roll. Love neck rolls on my linebackers.
Yeah. So that's a bummer. Number 5. Ooh.
Can't believe we
Let's
made
give
it this
it
far
up
without
for Dan Bailey. Why not give it up for
Dan Bailey.
Dan Bailey was iconic growing up. I don't know
Wow.
what it was about it, but let's give some kickers some credit, you know?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not?
Shout
Why
out the
not?
But
boot.
I think Aubrey could pass those shoes. So maybe Aubrey too. I don't know. Let's give a
I'm
kicker.
surprised. I'm
Pick
surprised
five.
you didn't say Ceedee. I'm surprised he didn't make his way in there.
Yeah,
None
I
of,
do
none
like
of these
Ceedee.
new guys are my top 5 either.
Well,
I'm
Iman,
all
you've
90s.
seen the glory days. You've been
Yeah,
there.
I'm all 90s. I mean,
You've
I'm a
seen the
Tony
best of
Romo
it.
guy. No, I'm a Tony Romo guy though. I like Tony Romo with just what he represented, being just a free agent coming in balling. I mean, and he's fantastic in the booth, even though he didn't have those type of antennas when he was playing. But I'm a Romo guy. I'm a Romo guy.
Grew up down
Yeah.
the street
Yeah,
from
yeah.
where my dad lives. Grew up down the
Oh,
street.
for real?
Yeah, very close. Yeah.
Wow.
My dad, he goes. His dad's going into the place my dad works all the time. They talks with my dad. Talks
Dang,
with his dad
that's
all the
kind of
time.
crazy.
Close. Yeah, Burlington, Wisconsin legend Tony Romo. Yeah, tiny little Burlington,
Damn.
Wisconsin. Yep.
Yeah, I love Romo though. That's cool.
Facts. All right, last thing I got for you, Josie. I got to hear what you're gonna say on it. Did
Okay.
Dez catch it?
Yes.
You had to ask that. Yes, he did.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
I-
Come on.
Do you have anything to back that up? Do you have proof of this alleged catch?
Go watch the video. Go watch the
Oh.
reports afterwards. The refs
Hmm.
have definitely said it was a catch.
And we're just finding out refs and people is gambling,
Oh,
blowing
darn,
games.
it's a
So
rigged
now,
game.
listen, now I'm thinking about it. They rigged it. I mean, listen, that year I thought we was gonna win it. Oh man, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that one, and then that following year with Aaron Rodgers and oh my
Jared Cook on the
God,
sideline.
That just, I'm not lying.
Woo!
Austin, I was not good for a whole month. I swear to God, Dak played because Dak played his ass off. That's one playoff game. I'm like,
Yes.
Dak ball, and here comes Mr. Discount Double Check, just killing. I mean, stake in my heart. It was bad, Joseph. I'm telling you, it was bad. It was bad.
That throw lives in infamy, baby. That Jared Cook, those toes, man. Oh man, what a drag! What a toe drag. We severely underused Jared Cook, by the way. Let me throw that out there. We severely underused him. All right. How about this one? Actually, one more. Dak or Jalen Hurts, and why?
Dak, obviously,
Okay.
the Cowboys fan. I think he is a bigger deep threat throw person. Jalen's got the legs; he can run. But when you need to find that target, we've seen it with Pickens, we've seen it with Ceedee. Dak is on it. Interceptions usually hit and miss, but
Yeah.
But yeah, the throwing ability of him. That's why I would take him. Is that if you need that long ball at the end of the game to make a big play to get down to field goal range or even a touchdown, he's more reliable.
I'm going to send that to Eagle Shirley. You heard that. We both agree that Dak is better than Jalen Hurts. We don't care about how many Super Bowls he's gone and won. He's not a better thrower of the football. Yeah, he's not a better thrower of the football than Dak. It's not even close.
If you're giving me a runner, I will take Jalen as the runner. I will say that. But overall ability, I want Dak.
Yeah, I think you agree with what everything me and Iman has said. The better overall quarterback, the better passer of the football is Dak. I mean, you can still build a winning offense around Jalen, but you're just going to get more inconsistencies out of it, like we're seeing right exactly now with the Eagles. But all right, Josie, go off and be famous again without us. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate you coming on. Yeah.
So you was just doing this dance here?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I do it with you. Come on, I can swim with you. I can swim with you. I can swim with you. Let them see you. Yeah, but who doesn't enjoy NFL games? Yeah. Hey, thank you, Josie.
Thank you, Josie.
Got a lot of personality. Go Cowboys.
Go Pack.
The flop.
All right, like I said, just great stuff with that conversation with the Cowboys fan. You know, she's been popping off lately too. So I'd break it down with Iman if he was here. We're recording this together, but because we're not, we're gonna wrap it up there. As always, hope you all have a great weekend. We will be back with you on a normal week, normal schedule, more fun stuff next week on Chalk Talk Social. Until then, we'll see you.